Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you over my NHL 26 custom rosters. Unfortunately, these are only for the Xbox Series X or S, so if you have a PlayStation, I deeply apologize, even though one day I would love to be able to do rosters for both consoles. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you for all the support on my custom rosters in NHL 25. As you can see here on this picture, we raised over 1,000 downloads on my free agency roster, which was so huge. I was not expecting that. I'm so grateful for that. Without further ado, so to download these rosters, you go to obviously download rosters. As you'll see, NHL Rosters version 1, the gamer tag is SuzukiOreos. That is how you find these rosters. So, we're going to probably start with the NHL, and we'll probably work our way from there. So, as you can see, Anaheim. I'm not exactly sure how I want to show every team. Maybe I'll just show the best players, or I'll do position by position. We'll see. I think we'll start with goalies. So we'll do every goalie in the league first. Again, I try to keep these ratings and potentials kind of based on a multi-year scale. I don't want to overrate or underrate a player based on one season. Obviously, I will adjust overalls by 1 or 2 depending on the year that a goalie is having, or any player. It doesn't really matter. Like Tristan Jarry, for example, he's an 81. You could make him lower. We'll see how this season plays out this year, and we'll adjust. I apologize for not much talking. I really don't know what I'm doing. This is my first ever video. I'm supposing I'll get better. As you can tell, this is who I think is the best goalie in the NHL. Connor Hellebuck, highest rating. I think I gave... I apologize, I'm doing this as a voiceover after the fact. I don't know what happened to the recording I made during this, so I'm trying to repeat everything I said during the actual thing, but it's kind of hard to remember everything. So I think we're just going to do just the top, whatever players you can see on the screen. Jacob Slavin, probably one of the best defensive defensemen. I do have him as a 2-way, and I do stand by that. I think he can move the puck a little, pretty good, so you could make him a DFD, but I think 2-way is fine as well. So you can see for Barkov, I have his contract at $775 for the year. That's because when you go into franchise mode, if you just load in with the cap hits normal, all of Florida's players basically get adjusted downwards. So a way to fix that, shout out Puckpedia for their article on this. Just change it, give him $775, and then just give him a 4-year extension for $10 million. The team is fine. Cap hits are all good. A little bit of workaround to just make sure it stays as realistic as possible, even though technically when you change the cap, you're not really keeping it realistic, but there's no LTIR in franchise mode in EA. As if you did see really quickly, I did have Anze Kopitar at a medium top 9. That is try to see if he'll retire at the end of season 1 like he is planning to do in real life. I think I went back over to Minnesota to show you Kaprizov for his $17 million extension. It's a lot of money. What do you guys think? Worth it? Not worth it? I think he's worth it. Easily one of the best wingers in the NHL. I am a Montreal Canadiens fan. So I try to rate teams based on analytics and stats and not my pure emotions towards them. I did make Celebrini medium franchise. I think he's hell of a player. It's hard not to give him that. I'm not sure if I said in the beginning, but this channel is obviously called Test on a Quest. But my name is Johnny. You can call me Johnny or Test. Obviously, Johnny Test, that was a nickname I was given growing up. To get a little bit to know me, I am 24 years old. My birthday is actually in a week, so... And I am a Indigenous person in Canada. So the NHL is done. We'll move on to the AHL now. So I think for the AHL, we're just going to show you the best prospects or top prospects on each team, basically, as you can see. I'll go through the goals after I go through each team. We'll just do it that way. It'll probably be a little bit easier for me to remember. Again, if you notice a lot of players missing headshots, that's mostly because I've probably created them, because EA lost their rights. Either they didn't sign when they came over from junior to the AHL, since it's a whole different agreement, or if they went to college and obviously EA doesn't have their rights, so I had to create them. A lot of created players this year, a lot more than last year due to all the players that have left the junior leagues to go to college. So hopefully one day EA will be able to get that sorted out. If you notice any potentials or overall ratings for these prospects you think that are too low, too high, please let me know in the comments. I am so open to suggestions on where to take these ratings. I have been doing it for 3 games now on my own. Before this, I used to follow Tugi24 rosters from NHL 17 when he had the spreadsheets on Google, and I would copy and do it. Like, I am just sick for rosters. I just love roster editing. I don't know, something about it is just, it's very something, I guess. So now I'm going through the goalies here. Again, you'll probably notice that I went with a lot of high backup, high fringes, and it's just a way to get the players to develop in franchise mode, so it's more real life players that you see hit. I think I went back here because I was saying how I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep Mikey DiPietro as medium starter or high fringe, but I wanted to give him a chance to develop in his last year, which obviously him being 26, it's his last year. Once he turns 27, he is what he is. I don't know, let me know what you think about that one. I tried to make sure I got all the goalies in that were either signed or playing. I know I had to move a couple of from the ECHL. Obviously, if players are in the ECHL, they do not show up. So there we go. I think we're going to start in Europe because it's the most quickest, because usually it's only the SHL and the league that have the most prospects to show. So same type of thing. We're just gonna go with the forwards or all skaters, and then we'll go goalies at the end. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing these rosters. Last year I got them out in February, I think, was my first version. So this time around, getting them out in basically the first week of November, after waiting for the first official roster update, which I think dropped on the 17th of October. So once that came out, I got to it, I locked in, and I got them done. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do, but in terms of as a starting point for everybody to download and enjoy, I think it's perfect. Obviously, I'm going to be having to add in more prospects for the drafts, as you'll see. I did try to make sure I get the top prospects or top eligible draft picks for each of the drafts, so 2026, 2027, 2028. I am going to add in more of other like top 6, high top 9 players. Same thing for the team prospects that I didn't add. I started with just the first to third round picks for the last couple of drafts, and then I'll eventually go back in and I'm planning on getting the entire 2025-2024 draft done, so rounds 1 to 7 before the next update, which, if everything goes to plan and I do it the way I want to, the next update should probably come at the beginning of December. I definitely would want one before Christmas. And obviously, if there's ever a big transaction, I will probably update the rosters as quickly as I can. So now we're going to the DEL. Not too many players here. Just, I think, a few minor players. If you notice, a lot of the higher rated players on your roster, if you use EA's base, is just gone. I've basically just moved them over to international teams just so that they all don't get dumped into free agency when you load up into franchise mode, and the AI teams just don't go crazy after all of them, which has happened in the past. Can be really annoying. Again, I apologize for the silence. I'm trying to remember, just speak what's on your mind. So now we're looking at this league, same thing. I don't believe there was that many players. As you can see, there's that one. Yeah, Peter Sikora. Peter Hauser. Daniel Audette. Oh, that's a name if you're a Montreal fan. Looking at the goalies. I don't think there's any goalies. Not too many goalies of prospects sort in these league. Now we're going to go to the National League. Same thing again. Not that many prospects to edit. Marcus Granlund. Freddie the Goat, if you're a Leafs fan. It's a name. Lucas Wallmark. Drake Kajula. A lot of old names. Yuri Felshman, I think is how you pronounce it, is obviously a Boston Bruins prospect. Vinny Rohe, if I said that properly again. My name pronunciation is horrible, so if I mispronounce, please correct me in the comments. I want to learn, and I want to make sure I'm saying everybody's name right, because it's basic respect and everyone deserves it. So looking at the goalies, that is an Anaheim Ducks prospect. Yep, I confirmed it. So there you go, then that is done. We're gonna look at, again, same thing for this one, not that many prospects, if at all, I think. Jonathan Blum, that's a name. TJ Brennan, best AHL defenseman ever. If you check out his stats when he was in the AHL, damn. And now we're going to look at the goalies. I don't think there is any goalie prospects in this league. I could be wrong. No, Max Legacy. So, there we go. I'm not going to do the I can't speak. The Alveskin League, because that's where I stash all of the creative prospects for teams and drafts. So you'll see that when I go through the creative player list here in a bit. So we'll do the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League first. So as you can see, Justin Poirier technically was in the game last year. He went to college. EA no longer has rights. I had to create him. Another example of that. Top prospect for this upcoming draft, Tyan Lawrence. So obviously with it still being pretty early in the season, draft rankings are not all there. So I tried my best to make sure I got the majority of well-known names to be good potential so they get drafted. William Lassell, one of the top goalies. Couple of Habs prospect goalies if you were paying attention to the names. So now with the Q done, let's go to the W. So yeah, another example, Roger McQueen. He would be in the game any other year, but because of him going to college, he loses his rights. I had to create him. There's Landon Dupont, a really highly touted defenseman for the 2027 draft, I believe. There's Gavin McKenna, obviously with him not being in, but there he is. I felt 83 medium franchise is fair. You could also go high elite. I was tempted, but I like having franchise players in franchise mode. So see this couple of prospects for the 2028 draft in Liam Poo and Maddox Schultz for Regina Pats. If you saw that, I did go back to show. Berkeley Catton, Peyton Kettles, Charlie Ellick, Keaton Verhoff, another prospect that's in the college system, so I had to add him for the draft. Ranked number 2, hopefully he goes number 2 in your draft. I was able to do a couple of tests, and usually it was Gavin and him going 1 to 2. Look at the goalies. Joshua Ravensburg, solid prospect, obviously for San Jose, I believe. Harrison could definitely get a little bit of an upgrade. I think it's a little bit too low. He's a highly touted prospect goalie for this year's draft. Air 2 2027 goalie. So now we're going to go to the O, which they'll have obviously a little bit more. Jake O'Brien, Malcolm Spence, Colin Potter, Jet Luchenko, Cole Hudson, Michael Hage, James Higgins. If you see these guys and you're like, well, hold on, they're in college, they don't play for those teams. Those are the teams that drafted him in the OHL draft, so I just put them on them. I seem to find that the AI handles them better if they're in the junior leagues rather than Europe. So I went back and I did re-edit Spencer Bauer, so he's not top 6 because I don't know what EA was doing there, and I don't know why I didn't catch it. Brady Martin. I did end up editing Luca Blonda as well, so when you download the rosters, he'll be a little bit higher rated than he is currently. We'll take a look at the goalies. And if you stay to watch from this point on, well, I am going to be potentially releasing a franchise mode video today. I don't know if you're seeing this on the 3rd of November. It might come out tonight, maybe most likely tomorrow. I'm still playing around with how to have my voice sync up with the video. So now I'm going to, I'm going to show you free agency. So I edited out all the big names, so like Vlasic, Brody. There's some other players. I just moved them to internationals because they're most likely not going to play this year. As you can see there, so Samsonov obviously went to the KHL, so he shouldn't be. James Reimer's probably never going to get a contract in the NHL again. So instead of just having them sit there, get signed by the AI, take up roster spots from your players, just remove them. So this is the fun part. We're going to scroll through the creative players, and it's a lot of creative players. So again, as you see, I did do a lot of high bottom six. It's just something I just want to see how they develop. Austin Roast. And a little bit of a hint if for that franchise mode. I think I'm going to be doing Calgary. Calgary or Buffalo were my two choices, and obviously Calgary with their record in the NHL currently, I think would just be a really fun team to do, and obviously Buffalo, who haven't made the playoffs in forever, would be kind of a fun one to do. Try to save them from anything, whatever they're going through. Feel free if you're a Sabres fan. Carter King, Caden Lindstrom, Cole McKinney, Cole O'Hara, Christopher Pelosi, Colin Potter, I think I said his name already before, Colin Ralph, Cole Reshesny, Cooper Simpson, Charlie Stramel, Charlie Trethaway, I think is how you say it. I'm probably wrong. Daniel Boo. I'm really excited for him. I think Utah has a hell of a player there if he comes over. Dude's massive, right? Like 6'6" or something. Oof. Dylan James, Dean, who finally scored this year. If you're a Bruins fan, that must feel good after last year. Jay Emery, top Ranger defenseman prospect. Eric Nielsen, Philip Nordberg, Gavin McCarty, Henry Muse. Tough news today. Apparently he's going to be out for the season with an injury. Horrible, horrible. Ivan Rabankin, Jack Devine or Devine, Jacob Fowler, Jordan Gustafsons, Jackson Hallam, I think again I'm just going over the same point, that why he's on London versus not in college. It's just that's a team that drafted him basically has their rights. Jack Hextall, prospect for this upcoming draft. Jack Murtaugh, John Mustard, what a cool name. Jaden Perron, Justin Poirier, of course, we saw John Prokop, Jacob Rombach, fellow native, Kenny Connors, Connor Smith, Keaton Verhoff again, like I said. Some minor prospects for this upcoming draft just to have more real life players. Lars Hudson, Cole and Lane Hudson's younger brother. I don't know if he's supposed to be getting drafted, but why not add him just for some fun? You'll probably notice that I'll add in some hockey players that are sons of former NHLers that are in the draft, but maybe not projected to get drafted. I'll add them just for fun, because why not? Again, if you see any rating or potential that you think is too low or too high, just let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to get that fixed for the next update. Obviously, as long as you don't go to, like, if it's a 1 or 2 overall, or like high bottom 6 to medium bottom 6. I'm talking about like if a player's high bottom 6, but should be like top 6 potential, or you know. I think we're almost getting to the end of the created player list. Again, there will be more creative players in the future through future updates, like I said. But I felt like this was like a good amount. I got majority of each team's top prospects that they didn't have in the game already. And as you probably noticed throughout my rosters, I try to limit the X factors as much as possible, just because I felt like when you go into franchise mode, players develop them so quickly, I find. So I just felt like I have a starting roster that's not too overpowering with it, and just see how people develop X factors and whatnot. Trey Augustine, Thomas Hamara, Tyson Jugganoth, Taylor McCarr, Trey Taylor, top prospect for this upcoming draft, William Markoff, William Moore, William Whitelaw, cool hockey name, that's a huge cool hockey name, Will Zellers, and I think we are coming to the end. So I just wanted to say thank you for watching. Don't forget, you can download these rosters. I hope you have a good one. Adios. Oh, and not to come back in, but don't forget to like, hit subscribe, and leave your comments. I'm interested in hearing how you think this video went.